I was talking with my friends about the Game Pass price hike, and for those that don't know, Game Pass Ultimate is now $30. If you want a full breakdown of the situation, there are better places to get it. I just want to discuss an aspect of Xbox that was brought to light when discussing this whole mess with my friends. Xbox's whole thing has been Game Pass for some time. They leaned into it heavily to the point that they basically did away with exclusive games, and their exclusive was the service Game Pass. So if you're on Xbox, you probably used this service more often than not to play a game. Maybe not all Xbox users, but probably most, right? This made me think about when Phil Spencer, everyone's favorite guy right now, said they lost a crucial era. That being the PS4 versus Xbox Series era. It was a crucial era to win because digital libraries became bigger than ever, and moving them forward so it's convenient for your consumers was and is now possible. That to this day is what keeps people in your ecosystem. No one wants to leave 100 or hundreds of games behind. I have 260 games in my Steam library, and I know I certainly never want to leave that behind. With that said, it feels like Xbox has made it easier than ever to leave their ecosystem. With Game Pass being a thing, I'm sure there are some Xbox users that own little to no games, and so when you stop paying that monthly fee, you're just left with a box that you can easily remove yourself from without any of the frustration of thinking, now I have to repurchase this pile of games. Even if you had bought some games on Xbox, if you're moving to PC, some games are play anywhere, so you might not even have to leave that game behind. So Xbox just seems to make it easier and easier to leave their ecosystem by pricing people out. The one consumer-friendly deal that made sense to stay for is more questionable in value than ever now. I understand there are other tiers, but downgrading and not getting something like Call of Duty Day 1 or even potentially getting it within its relevant cycle would seriously make me question the value of the premium tier at $15 a month as well. For this case, however, I did, as most are right now, focusing on the $30 a month Ultimate tier. $360 a year is what it would cost to keep that library of games. So I did a little fun project of my own and tried to see on Steam, on a sale like the autumn sale currently going until October 6th, how many games can I realistically get for $360? Now I understand people may question my list of games that I put together. People may think, well, that's dumb, you could just cherry pick a bunch of $5 games. Well, just hear me out, because I think I made a very fair list of 12 games. Now, I know if you are a Game Pass user, you're probably thinking 12 games? That's it? That's nothing, dude. But just hear me out. We'll get to that discussion a little bit down the line. I picked out games I like / have bought, games I think someone coming from Xbox may now want to own and be able to play on their new PC. Do keep in mind, though, this is based on shopping during a Steam sale, but that is the idea. Typically, a PC player / Steam user waits for these kinds of sales and picks up a bunch of games, and then is stuck with the good old backlog, a tale of old for Steam users. So my first game on the list was Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Who wouldn't want Skyrim on PC, especially with all the crazy modding capabilities? Then I went for Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition, and it's pretty much the same reasons as Skyrim. And then I had to throw the Master Chief Collection on there, because that is just way too good a deal, and so much content for just $10. Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole list one by one, but I just wanted to give some examples. But here is the entire list, and I think this is pretty good. You get all these games, 12 games for $330. That is $30 cheaper than Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Edition for an entire year. And again, 12 games, hundreds of games. We'll go to that discussion in a minute. But I think, again, like going back to what I was saying earlier, I think, again, I was very fair with the choice of games that I picked out for this list. I mean, I've got absolute time sinkers like Baldur's Gate 3, No Man's Sky, Red Dead 2, from $40+ games to $15, $10 games, $20 games. I think I gave a very good mix of time sinkers, bite-sized games, all the like. And some of these games are going to be ones that you spend a month, maybe more, depending on how you're vibing with the game, just playing that alone. And then that takes us back to the 12 games. This is probably a list of games that would take you a year to play all of them, if not more. Red Dead 2 is enormous. Baldur's Gate 3 is enormous. That game legitimately took me, I think, over a month to beat. But then I've got bite-sized games like Shinobi Art of Vengeance, a game I haven't bought yet, but I'm very interested in playing, and that's going to be a more bite-sized game compared to others. Stellar Blade, Doom the Dark Ages is another one that's fairly new, still, in that $40 to $50 price range, even on sales. Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon, which is an amazing game, especially if you like, Bethesda games, Elder Scrolls, things like that. This is an absolutely amazing game. Haven't beat it yet. I do own this one. But yeah, I am kind of unsure how long that game is. But my point is, I think I did a pretty fair job at making this list of games to buy on Steam. I don't think, I didn't do the route of like, I'm going to put a bunch of $5 games on the list, I didn't do the $10 or less. I didn't do $20 or less. I think spending in the $40 range is something realistic that people would do even on a Steam sale if they're new to PC and just really want to be able to pick up some games that they love playing, maybe want to re-experience in the new light that is PC. And again, this is a list of games I actually am interested in playing, would like to play, things like that. I didn't just go for whatever. I picked games that I thought would make sense for somebody coming from Xbox that maybe they, liked a couple of those games that they played through Game Pass, would like to actually own and pick up in their library, like Doom the Dark Ages or Fallout 4 or Skyrim. And Octopath 2 is on this list as well, because I know Xbox kind of got some sort of affiliation or whatever with Octopath 1, but then I think they lost out on Octopath 2, so maybe you're a little interested in that game. I really thought of not just myself and games I like, but I really thought of the Xbox user, games they might have played / liked, and wanted to pick up on a good Steam sale. Now, there's the discussion we can get to now as of the Game Pass typical discussion, hundreds of games for X amount of dollars. Here it's 12 games for $330. Game Pass Ultimate would be $360 a year, but even going down to the premium tier at $15 a month, which is half as much. So that is cutting down below the $330 here, and you still get hundreds of games, some day one, just not all like Call of Duty. This is where the subject becomes subjective. It's person to person. It's what you like, it's what you want. Some people like a lot of the games on Game Pass, and it's very worth it to pay either $15 a month, $30 a month, whatever it is. I'm sure there's still people out there, despite the loud noise online, I'm sure there's still people out there that find that Game Pass does still help save them money or give them the best value on the market right now as an Xbox user. And also, of course, there is the, if I'm moving to PC, the initial expense that comes with building your PC. Although I have thought about it recently, and it is kind of funny because console prices are going up. That's not really the funny part, it kind of sucks actually, but it is becoming part of it's going back to that part of the market we used to be in, where buying a new console whenever there's an upgrade available is definitely becoming more expensive than just kind of rebuilding parts of your PC and upgrading parts of your PC when you need to have an upgrade done. I mean, a new console coming out, the Xbox ROG Ally is $1,000, the top tier edition. That is a lot of money. So I can only imagine what their actual console for the next console is going to be price-wise. And for me to upgrade my motherboard, processor, and RAM, it's definitely not $1,000. If I want to really splurge, at most it's $800. But it's probably more like, for most people, going to be down to $600. And especially if you can bargain hunt and get some sales, you could probably cut that down to maybe $550 or something, you could really beat out prices of a whole console being bought just to kind of upgrade your PC. Again, there is that initial expense where it's going to be more than a console, but that's the hardware side of it. Game side of it, again, it's subjective. I kind of want to take it back to that. I went off track a bit, but game side of it, it is subjective to what you value. For me, Game Pass, having hundreds of games at my disposal, it just takes the value out of the games themselves for me personally. I know not everyone will have this problem, but for me personally, my brain just goes ADHD. I try a game for maybe an hour or two, and then I'm like, yeah, okay, this isn't really, that new feeling anymore. Let me close this out and start up another game so I can kind of have that new feeling, this game is new to me, Things start to wear out, and then I just start abusing Game Pass for the factor of I can just start up 20 games in a day that I've never played before. And that is a really cool factor, but for me personally, I just don't find the value in the games anymore because I didn't put my money into it like that. I put my money into hundreds of games, not one game. And for me, it kind of almost ruins the value of the game, and I don't respect it the way a game should be when you want to go play it. Now, again, that's totally subjective. Most people, probably a lot of people, don't find that they have that issue. Maybe you do, I don't know. I just find that when I actually go to Steam or whatever storefront you want to use and buy the game, I typically find that I actually am more invested mentally. I'm more invested in the game than if I just paid $15 for Game Pass, $30 for Game Pass, and then started up a game. But those are my thoughts, not really the mainstream discussion that most people are having. I guess it kind of is because it's based off of people leaving Xbox. And, I'm not expecting a ton of people are just gonna drop their Xbox and go to PC or something. Do I think going to PC was the better move for me when I moved away from Xbox? Yes. I moved from Xbox after the 360 era ended. And I don't think I could have moved at a better time since that was their last really, truly great era. But my point is, as much as the internet is on fire right now, I think a lot of people are satisfied with the box they have. Maybe not. Maybe this genuinely is stirring up the pot for people. I think Xbox players that are sitting on Xbox really take the brunt of what Microsoft/Xbox does to harm consumers, to take advantage of consumers. I think Xbox players do get taken advantage of a lot just because they're already on the box, and it seems like Xbox just doesn't care about hardware sales, people on their hardware anymore. They just care about pushing their games to be sold as much as possible. That's the way it feels for me. Anyways, I'm rambling, I'm ranting. Let me know what you think of the list of games I put together. Is it sensical for somebody that left Xbox to go to PC? Do you think you value each game more if you actually buy it, or do you not care about that and Game Pass is still a great deal for you? Let it all be heard down below. Interested to hear what everybody thinks, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.